Hey guys, so I was watching Major Tom's video about these guys, the target dummies, and how they're supposed to absorb bullets, right? And they do. They definitely do. But the first thing is they're a little inconsistent. So I've saved this save and reloaded it, and as you can see, the projections are working as intended. There's no hitbox, nothing to catch the bullets. So yeah, that is something you have to keep in mind. It's super inconsistent. I did find a way to fix it. So if you go in here and you put the blueprint back in, so for this one we're using the original dummy grid, then that projector will be fixed. So I don't know which of these grids it is. It's here somewhere, yeah. Now has a hitbox. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, as you can see, my strategy going into this was to first of all use them sideways because they have a larger profile. When you're looking at them straight down, you've got the head and the backpack, and that's about it. But from the side, you've got the arms, you've got the whole torso, and the head. So it's a little more space to make it a little more likely that your bullets, or the bullets of your enemies, will hit the shield. Yeah, so that was my original strategy, and as you can see, there are some glitches. So I moved up to a more sophisticated dummy array. So here's the thing I blueprinted. So it's got two layers in one blueprint. You know, there's that way the whole grid is covered. So there's still a lot of space in between them, right? That's what the overlapping projections are for. But because I've got such a large grid here, it's 7 by 7. I don't need as many projectors to cover an area. I can essentially put a bunch in between, and that's a whole line of hitbox, and then rotate it to another line that way, and hopefully fill the thing. And this was my first refined attempt. The idea is to rotate the projectors, and as you can see, they're layered side by side and then up and down to cover a lot of space. There's still gaps here, and the largest gaps are here. This whole area here is nothing. And rather than try to add even more projectors, because I think this is 5 projectors at least. 10 projectors. I really went out on this. I created like a rotating system, right? Let's see if I can get that started. I don't remember which rotor it was. So as you can see, with the thing turning, the idea was it would catch more, right? Because as the bullets go through, they're less likely to, let's say the bullet spends 3 frames getting through here. That's 3 times the chance that it'll collide with one of the armor stands, or dummies. Armor stands is Minecraft. So yeah, rotating, slightly higher chance it'll deflect, but it honestly didn't deflect very much, and I'm not going to go through each projector here to get them working again to show you that it's still not catching a ton of stuff. So then we move on to my final design. So yeah, this is my final design. It's got both horizontal and vertical offset. So there's the base vertical, and then there's about 0.5-ish higher than that, and then another 0.5-ish higher than that. So that's 3 horizontal rows stacked on top of each other. You could do a 4th, I think, and it'd probably be close to perfect. So yeah, there's still some gaps, some inconsistencies. It's a pain in the butt setting up these projectors. And the more you have, the harder it is to tell when they're in the right place. So there are still little gaps. You can see them here. And yeah, this is kind of my final design. It blocks things pretty well. It's not perfect, and I'll show you that with the gunning platform down there. Where is it? I don't know. I'll find it eventually. Anyways, yeah, so I'll show you how this works in a second. I actually haven't fixed these projectors yet. Most of them are still glitching. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the tedious process of reselecting blueprints on each of these projectors. There's a bunch of them, 15. Yeah, so I will see you guys after that. Alright, so that should have made all of these solid now. Yep, so as you can see, solid as heck. And just to show you guys, boop, stops bullets pretty much all the way down. Now, like I said, there's still gaps, and enemy fire, especially Gatling guns, will find those gaps pretty quick. So yeah, like here, there is a hitbox gap in this. I'm having trouble finding it, but that just goes to show it. When you go through all the tedious stuff, it is pretty effective. But yeah. So as you can see, the projector is protected. I've set up a light armor panel and then a heavy armor panel behind it because I really don't want to break these projectors on accident. But yeah, let's give it a test. One thing I noticed is it seems like the autocannon just doesn't care. It just goes right through. That's the first thing I'll show you. So we're coming in at a little bit of an angle, but you're pretty much never going to be dead on this thing. But you shoot, autocannon for some reason just goes straight through. So let's go check it out. You can see it just straight out went straight through. Like, I can't go through this, but the autocannon bolt, which definitely would have collided, just straight out took that light armor and made it go away. So let's try another weapon. It's really quite damning that for whatever reason the autocannon just doesn't care. Not shooting at some light armor, I'm going to show you that it just goes straight through the grid. So yeah, let's do that. So yeah, you can already see I have it aimed at that corner and it's just going right through the holograms for whatever reason. And blowing up over there. So yeah, a shield that just doesn't work on some projectiles I don't think is going to be super effective. I would honestly be surprised if this even needed patched. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yeah. So I don't know how well you guys can see this, but it's like going right through the hologram. And it seems like the bolt just kind of gets stuck and then slips past. That was weird. And then the rest just kind of go through. Yeah, it's going straight through. That one hit the heavy armor there. So yeah, I think that kind of proves. Ooh, that's weird. It's weird behavior. Caught that one. That one went straight through again. Okay, I gotta stop the autocannon. It's gonna destroy my my projectors if I let it keep going. All right, next thing we're testing is the Gatling turret. So yeah, we're gonna aim for those light armor panels again. See how well they are caught by the hologram shield. So as you can see, it kind of sprays a lot of bullets over a wide area, right? And that means there's a decent chance it gets caught, but also a decent chance it goes through. There are little gaps, I know the way I showed it made it look like there weren't with the gun, but I couldn't find them. This Gatling turret, given enough time, will find them. But it actually, in my opinion, blocks pretty well. I think against Gatling turrets, this shield, with the gaps as small as they are, does a pretty good job. Because I shot that for a while, and we're seeing little to no damage on these, right? So most of them got hit maybe once or twice, and that's about it. It absorbed a lot of fire. So I think against Gatling turrets, which are kind of strong weapons, they're pretty good. It actually blocks them really well, in contrast to the autocannon. So the shield's pretty useful. I think the main issue is that however the autocannon projectiles function is kind of glitchy, and they usually slip through. They just kind of wiggle their way through the grid, kind of like I was able to do there by just moving up and down. But the Gatlings can't like ricochet off the holograms, so they don't make it through nearly as often. Yeah. So the last thing is the missile launcher, and I'm sure all of you can predict how this is going to go. Because honestly, you don't even need a grid as tight as the one I've made to stop most, if not all the missiles getting through. Against missiles and Gatlings, this thing works great, especially missiles. So it catches pretty much every missile. All in all, I think the main purpose of these sorts of shields would be to catch missiles, which, in my opinion, missiles aren't very good, and you wouldn't run up against them very often anyways, so missile defense shield would be kind of wasted effort, and definitely wasted PCU. There are so many subgrids. The performance hit you get just turning these things on is not worth it. And then you've got to like reselect the blueprint for each projector. So the better your shield, the more projectors are on it, and the more selecting you have to do. It's just not feasible. I'm sure there's some optimizations you could do to use less projectors and still get effective shields. One thing I didn't do in my main grid, and I'll just fly over there to show you. One thing I didn't do is I could have made it thicker. I could have rotated dummy placement. So right here we've got dummies that are upright, and behind them I could have put dummies that are sideways. So to show you that real quick, one thing I could have done to make the shield better without adding more projectors, right, is I could have... What do you mean? Should be able to place that just fine. Anyway. Okay, let's try it there. Okay. Is I could have placed dummies in a row like this, right? So essentially tiled another 2 grids of another 2 shelving units, I guess, of dummies, but instead of being horizontal, they're vertical. And that would have added more more surface area to the shield without needing to add more projectors, because it just make the projection itself cover more area. Like one projection covers more area rather than having multiple projections covering. But I didn't do that because it's tedious work already. But if someone really wanted to optimize their shield, they'd probably have vertical facing up, they'd probably have a vertical facing upside down, and then sideways and the other sideways. They'd have essentially 8 thick shields with rows in each thing. And for those of you who are like, why has it got to be too thick to do these rows? Just to make it clear, even though these are like shells, and you can visually see that you could totally put another pane right above these dummies, the dummies are occupying that block. so I can't put a pane there, even if I wanted to. And which I do. I do actually want to put a pane above them. That'd be great. And then you could put another dummy here, and that would make it a lot thinner. But that's not an option with the way blocks collide with each other. And just to show you how good this shield works against missiles, it's been running the whole time I've been talking, and it has deflected every missile. Or I guess absorbed. They're not being deflected. Yeah. If you want me to test more weapons, I guess I could, but it's going to be similar stories. I'm pretty sure the railgun's going to be like the autocannon, where it just kind of weasels its way through. Anything that has projectiles similar to the Gatling gun is going to behave like the Gatling gun, and I don't think there's really anything similar in size and projectile behavior to the missile, but other missile launchers will launch missiles and they'll behave the same way. But yeah, that's basically how those shields work. And I didn't see like I've said before, didn't see a major improvement in absorption rate from rotating grids, because most of the projectiles you struggle to deflect move really fast, so the chances of catching them is like very slightly increased. If a Gatling bullet is going through and it would normally have gotten past this grid, it probably still would, even with it rotating, right? Because the rotation speed is not enough to really collide with that Gatling bullet during its pass through moments. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to see more optimizations of this, let me know. I could post another video where I make the shield thicker, try more weapons against it. Another thing I think this would actually be useful for is creating a player trap, or some sort of force field barrier to keep people from passing through like a hallway, because when they're working, players collide with them, right? So you could, in theory, project these in like a hallway, and make it so that that hallway is impassable whenever you turn the projector on. But I mean, doors exist. The only reason that would even be slightly better is because the holograms can't be broken, right? But yeah, then what? They just go through a wall, right? So I think a door would still be more practical in that situation. Other than being cool and maybe confusing your enemy for a minute, I don't think this really makes a lot of sense as a door or a gate barrier. One person mentioned in Zero's comments that it could work as a ship capture device, and it absolutely could. That's something I might try out. Yeah, just because that sounds really fun. The main issue with ship capture devices is you have to have a box large enough for the ship you're going after, and you have to basically turn on the projector with the box around the thing, because if it's not around the ship won't get captured. Yeah. So I guess thanks for watching. Let me know if you want me to expand on this any more than I already have. All in all, I think it's a pretty good shield. Like, it blocks most Gatling shots at this thickness. And if you needed it to cover more area, you just use a larger grid. So you don't need more projectors, you just need more dummies on your blueprint grid. So instead of doing 7x7, I'm sticking to odd numbers because I build with odd numbers. You could do even numbers. But yeah, you could do 14x14, and that would double the size of the shield. You wouldn't even have to replace projectors. You'd just go through and change the blueprint that they're selecting. And you could probably catch every Gatling shot if you went and made it 4 thick with the rotated sideways or upside down guys. But yeah, honestly, I think it's more pain than it's worth. I think what we really need in this game is shield projectors that like cost a lot of energy and you can't keep up all the time. That added to the game would be awesome, just as a like regenerative armor option. Because as it is, like I guess you could do welders as a regenerative option for shielding, but it doesn't really. It's not great. And I'd like some regenerative armor. That'd be awesome. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. I don't do like YouTube videos, so sorry if this was hard to watch, but I just wanted to share how it works. My expanded shield design, my army of meat shields, or I guess light shields. I'm gonna call the dummies meat shields though, because that's fun. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.